here today, as we speak, I'm gonna be straight for the rest of my life. No question, right? I don't think everybody is in that. And when you've sacrificed your whole life to get here, and you're like, yeah, I played 10 years in the league. And I always explain this to people, like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60. You're getting taxed. Do the math. That's 12 a year, that you have to spend, use,
Save,
invest, flaunt, like whatever, however, just being
There
real.
we go. There's the problem.
Give my mama a house. I'm gonna do, everything costs money. So if you spending $4 million a year, that's really 40 million over 5 years, 8 a year, And now you start breaking down the numbers. It's like, that's a 5-year span of where you're getting 8 million. Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who ain't us and ain't been in the position like, oh, well, that would last a lifetime. Yeah, this job that I sacrificed my whole life for, they are giving me that. I didn't ask for the certain dollar amount or whatever.
What?
But we weren't taught about no financial literacy and all the way. We weren't
talk about it all the time.
We weren't taught this skill, and it's kind of like, I'll keep this one under wraps, but I got some things in the work that, like, I'm gonna be able to.
Yeah, I don't need to hear anymore. This is $100 million is definitely a lot of money. And I just watched a video with 80-year-olds that, one lady was working she's working 4 days, driving Uber to make an extra $250 to survive. And then you got this guy talking about $100 million isn't a lot of money. Like, the thing is, you have to be accountable for your decisions. There are plenty of people who come through the NFL. They invest their money smartly. I was just looking at KD and just all the investments that he made. Shaq invested in Google before it was Google as a startup. And I think he put 250,000 in initially, then it turned into 15 million after they went public. And the thing is, you have to make decisions. Like, you can decide to invest your money, or you can go invest and not invest, but you can buy a $300,000 watch. You can buy $1 million worth of jewelry. You could do all those things that don't appreciate in value. And the thing is, you just have to make better decisions. You can't sit here and say it's not a lot of money when it's a lot of money and you squandered the money away. And now you're saying people that don't have a lot of money, they don't realize the problem and decisions. No. You have to take accountability. And hopefully this is a wake-up call, because financial literacy, he's right. A lot of people, we weren't taught financial literacy. But guess what? Millionaire real estate success strategies, what they forgot to teach you in school. Like, you have to find the information. If you know that you don't have it, shame on you if you don't go get it, because you go buy that watch, you go buy that $500,000 car, you buy the $1 million crib, and you take the trips and fly private, but you won't take the time to learn. And that's the thing. Once I learned better, I went and did better, and I made better decisions. It takes discipline. Yeah, it takes sacrifice. The same discipline and sacrifice to get to the league, it's going to take the same sacrifice and discipline to stay there, and the same sacrifice and discipline in order to be a good steward over your money, and to be all pro at investing, to be all pro at saving and setting up your future, and for your future, your next generation. And so, hopefully he's able to leverage his brand and go to the next level, create a podcast or something where he can continue to create more income. But the thing is, yeah, you only get one shot. And to see all the other athletes that go bankrupt after they leave the NFL, all the challenges they have, and you still make those same mistakes, still go down that same path when it leads to destruction and poverty and bankruptcy, then it's tough to really sit here and say that you feel sorry for somebody that made their bed hard. And like my mom always says, like, hey, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. You make your bed hard, you're going to have to lay in it. And hopefully this is a wake-up call for a lot of athletes that are out there that don't understand money. Find a financial advisor, do your research, vet them, talk to people, get reviews, get referrals. There are people in the NFL, NBA, these sports associations, the leagues that have referrals, that have people that have done really good things for them and help them grow their money. Find them instead of the ones that want to go to the club, that want to go to the jewelry store, that want to live life like it's a rap video, and do that. And then complain on the back end and say we're crazy because we're saying $100 million is a lot of money. It is. Like, if you invested that money, if you just took $4 million, you took $4 million for that and invested that money, just put it in the stock market, where would it be? 10 years, if you got the stock market, but 100% appreciation in the last 3 years from 22 to 25, that would have turned 4 to 8 in 3 years. Yeah, he fumbled the bag. You could go buy multiple apartment complexes, get a return. That was one of the things that really took me to the next level. It took me 8 years. I just thought about that. It took me 8 years to invest in real estate, or to buy my first apartment. But it was funny. My sister and her husband had moved to North Carolina 2012, and I was just really getting into real estate at that point, and the property manager that took them on the tour of the apartment. I was living in Newport News, and we drove down and took them on the tour of the apartment. She was saying that Grant Hill was one of the owners. And I'm like, oh man, Grant Hill. He had recently left the NBA, but he was buying apartments. And of course, he went to Duke. It was in the Raleigh Durham area. And I thought about it. But like, if you get around these guys that's been buying apartments, getting 18% return on their money, like, it's crazy. You could have bought now with the bonus depreciation. You can write off your taxes by investing in oil and gas, where you can reduce your gross income. Like, there's strategies out here that the wealthy use, but shame on you if you're not seeking those off in the off season with all this money and you're not finding out what to do with it the right way. And so it all comes down to the decisions that we make, unfortunately. But don't let that be you. Definitely get on my calendar. If you're serious about your money, serious about investing, would love to have a conversation how I can add value. If you're serious about real estate and learning how to the strategies that the wealthy use, then get inside my REI Genius community. Every week I'm in there giving you guys game. We're doing my $1 Million Coffee Hour. I'm going through commercial real estate data across the US, giving you guys the information that you need in order to build a better tomorrow for you and your family, becoming the best CEO of your last name. So hopefully this hits home. Don't make these same mistakes. Hopefully, I pray he can learn from where his mistakes. He's got time to recover and just get after it. Because at the end of the day, none of these jobs, we see all the layoffs with Microsoft, Amazon, Google, UPS. Corporate America does not care about you. I saw kind of gut-wrenching story on Facebook today about an individual. His dad had served over 40 years at AutoZone, and he got terminal cancer. He got fired. They let him go while he was sick, lost his insurance policy that was tied to the job, and eventually passed away. Not a call from the exec, anyone in the leadership team, all those years of service, and they just kind of kicked him out on the street and wasn't there for him. And there's no loyalty with corporate America. That's one thing that I've seen, transition out the military. And, even like he was talking about, that camaraderie. And once you leave the league, and it's different out here. And the same way is for a lot of military veterans, where you feel lonely and people don't resonate with you, or being an entrepreneur. A lot of people don't resonate with that journey as well either. And, but corporate America, it's rough. You have to take back control of your finances, because you're a number. And they're beholden to their shareholders. And that's why you have to invest. You have to buy real assets. I was reading yesterday that the Federal Reserve, I think they're buying about 50 million treasury bonds per month. Like, they're printing free money again because liquidity is drying up. And so inflation is about to come back up again. So you have to start investing in buying and owning real assets at the end of the day. So if you want to learn how we're doing that, join the REI Genius Community free 7-day trial. We'd love to have you in there and part of the conversation. Let's go. Let's make some equity happen together, guys.